Hello, everybody. Janie Goddard here, and a very warm welcome to you today. In fact, I'm really excited today because I'm joined by somebody that I really respect and who is a real pioneer of the complementary medical profession, Heather Richards from Sano. And Heather, thank you for joining me. It's just amazing to have you.
Oh no, thanks, Janie. I'm just so grateful to be here and to share what we can offer.
Yes, well, I think what's so fascinating is that you've got a I think, a really fresh way of teaching and a very beautifully fresh view of the sort of the nutritional kind of field. It's such a broad field. So, can you tell us a little bit about, why you set up Sano and what it is that you really are looking to achieve with the kind of teaching that you do?
Yeah, exactly. Well, funnily enough, I came originally not from a nutrition background at all. I came from a corporate background, chartered accountancy, sort of in it for 10 years. And then my second career, as I like to call it, was bringing up my family. And it was in that period that I really got very interested in health and wellness and studied nutrition. And I set up my private practice, and that is so rewarding, as you well know. But what I realized quite soon was that, I could only help one person at a time. There are only so many in the hours in the day, which can be quite frustrating because I'm so passionate. I want to share with everybody. But also people were coming to me when they were really quite sick. I was almost the last resort. People put nutrition right down the bottom of the pile almost. And it's only when they get to that point that they're so desperate that they think, oh gosh, I'm going to pay to go and see somebody, that they come to you. And I thought, well, this isn't right. This should be part of people's lives. Nutrition should be commonplace. We should all understand it. So I think we formed Sano because we've got that passion, and we just believe that everybody has this right to good health, and everybody has the right to reliable information. And out in the marketplace, there's so much misinformation. We're all confused, aren't we? I mean, you get a headline, don't eat eggs. 2 weeks later, eat eggs. I
Yeah.
mean, if you don't know because you haven't been back to the scientific research, you can be really duped. And there are so many ways of eating. People are saying one thing, somebody else is saying another. And I think people are just confused. So really our mission was to give people that information and to give them the power so that they can actually just take control of their own health, and they don't necessarily then get to that stage of the nutritionist being the last person at the bottom of the pile, because at this point they're desperate. And we just want to spread the word of what healthy eating really is as wide as possible.
Yes, that's absolutely
Yeah.
fantastic. So important. And you're right, there is just so much conflicting information out there, isn't it? And the
Yeah.
thing, and I think the thing is that a lot of people, in my experience, will look at all of this conflicting information and actually eventually end up throwing the baby out with the bathwater and just going, well, I don't know what to believe, so I'm just going to carry on eating, my junk food or what have you. I think it's a real danger that this actually happens. So the thing is, I
Yes.
mean, I know that you have this incredible passion. The thing is, though, Heather, there are so many different sort of nutritional models out there. How did you sort of alight upon the work that you teach, and what exactly is it that you do teach?
Okay, yes. So that you're right. I mean, there are hundreds and hundreds of dietary models, and you'll get a book released, won't you? Another title of another book. And many of these models are actually they're not based on scientific evidence at all. Sometimes it's just because somebody has found out that something works for them. And that's great for them, but it doesn't mean it's right for you. And so there's just so much confusion. So actually what we do is we go right back to the grassroots. So when we teach, we always want to explain how the body works. Now that for some people, you might think, oh my gosh, I don't need to know that. I just need to know what to eat. But actually that's not true, because when you know what happens when you eat something, you're more likely not to eat the things that aren't doing you very much good, actually, because it's quite empowering. So we always teach, anatomy and physiology. So we explain how things happen and what nutrients you actually need to be healthy and what foods those nutrients are found in.
Mm.
Then you're able to compose your own diet. You do not have to follow anybody else's diet. You can have any preferences you like, because, you know, we live in different environments, we have different stresses, we have different family circumstances, we have different incomes, we have different genetics. Some of us want to be vegan, some of us gluten-free, some of us want to eat all the meat in the world. It doesn't matter. When you understand where the nutrients come from, you can then personalize it to you. And so that's what we teach, whether we're teaching general public or whether we're teaching or training people to help others. And really, that's the basis. It's personalization.
Mm, absolutely,
You
yes,
know,
crucial actually. I think it's actually really wonderful, because the thing is, I think the medical model is very sort of patriarchal insofar as it's, well, you know, do this. Well, why? Well, because I said so. And you know, that's so last century, isn't it? And I think what you're doing is so fantastic, because, as you say, rightly say, you are empowering people to actually make their own decisions,
yeah,
but based from an evidence-based perspective. And I think that is crucial. And I think that's very, very different from a lot of the information that's out there. So absolutely, hats off to you. I think as I said, you know, when we started, I said it's a really innovative work that you're doing. So, I mean, here at the Complementary Medical Association, I see a lot of your students graduating
yeah.
and coming to us and joining the organisation, which is fantastic. And I'm really impressed by the calibre of people that you are growing and developing as professionals in this field. And so, can you say a little bit about, you know, obviously I see some of them, and I kind of get a feel for the career, you know, direction they're going. But tell me a little bit about some of the successes you've had, and some of the things that some of your students are able to go on and do.
Yeah, well, I mean, our students come from actually quite a wide background. You know, their backgrounds vary so much. So we have, you know, some students who have just become interested in health and wellness and want to actually take this further, and they train to be a nutrition health coach. We've got other students who actually, they're already in the wellness industry, but they want to understand nutrition, because actually I think that is actually really important, because we have this huge opportunity for anybody in the wellness industry. We are seeing people every day, and being able to impart nutrition and healthy eating information is just absolutely vital, because the more people get the proper evident, you know, the actually what they need to eat rather than the misinformation, the better. So it depends where people are coming from. But wherever they're coming from, basically, you know, we've had some huge successes. Even when students have just started off with no background at all, we'll get things like, they say to us, oh my gosh, there was one student, my mum's just had a knee replacement. This is one student I can think of quite recently. And I've helped her with her diet. She was a fairly new nutrition coach. And she was basically in 10 days walking up the stairs unaided with no crutch. And her consultant after 6 weeks was so astounded at her recovery. So even when people are studying, they're using it for their own health, and they're helping their friends and family. But when they've graduated, they can be doing anything. They can be doing like, I know you interviewed one of our graduates, Sano. So she really helps on a one-to-one basis. She's helping mums, isn't she? And she's also helping teach children and cooking classes. But some people will align things and build great businesses if they're caterers. So they bring healthy eating into their catering, or they start to do cooking demonstrations, or they bring it into their yoga practice, Pilates practice. And of course, we can never forget our lovely medics. As you alluded to earlier, you know, the medical model, it is just so outdated, really, isn't it?
It really is.
And,
Yeah.
you know, we have medics studying with us, the ones that really want to help their patients. And they are, and we are seeing people, you know, we're seeing pre-diabetics and diabetics that have just been given really simple, healthy eating information, reversing and no longer being a diabetic or pre-diabetic.
Yes. Yes.
So
Absolutely.
there are many success stories, whether it's for growing a business or whether just helping yourself. or your family.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the things it's interesting actually, is because people that I've spoken to from Sano, they who've been studying with you, a lot of them have actually told me that they got into nutrition initially because for self help or helping a family member, and then decided to take it
Yeah.
further and study. And I just have to say, as I said earlier, they're so impressed with the knowledge and the professionalism of the people that come out of your training. So clearly, you really are going above and beyond, I think, to really equip people with everything they need in order to come out the other end as a fully fledged professional. And I think that's an absolute testament to the work that you're doing, Heather. We love it whenever we get, we see, membership applications coming in, and oh, Sano, great. Okay, well, no, this one's going to be really.
Yeah. Well, we really just
Yeah.
instill the understanding.
Yes.
Understanding is so important. That's where I come back to saying, how does it affect the human body?
Yes.
Because when we understand things, we can then we can help people. And as I said, fit into that personalization model. It's no good just having a tick box and say, if you're stressed, go and eat X. It doesn't work like that at all. So I'm pleased to hear you say that, because of course our members love the CMA as well.
Yes. Oh, well, we look after, which is great. Yeah, Heather, thank you. I mean, it really is fantastic. I'm so impressed. We are so impressed with everything you're doing. So, thank you so much for being with me today. I think what we should do is just let everybody know the best way to contact you. So, anybody watching this on YouTube, if you look at the screen, just to the bottom right of your screen, there's a little sort of like a little down arrow. If you click on that, the show notes will open up, and then you'll be able to see exactly how to contact Heather and the Sano School and so on. And also, Heather, is there anything that that you would like to say if somebody wants to pop an email across to you or anything like that? If they've got any questions, how would they best go about contacting?
Yeah, well, you can go on the website, and there's always links where you can just schedule a call, and we'll always call you back if you want to chat, or you can send an email through the contact system. I mean, our email is learn@sanolife.co.uk, but as you said, you'll put it in the show notes. And can I just one other thing? If anybody just wants very short bursts of nutrition information just to learn, we've started a podcast called Sano Health Bursts, and I'm just making them 5 minutes. You can find us on Apple and everywhere else that everybody is, because I think that if we drip feed just very small bits of information, you can take it on board, and it's a good place to start to start getting your knowledge.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, snackable, a little, no pun.
It is snackable. Yes, exactly. We should have called it Sano Snacks.
You can always rebrand them, but the thing is, I think you're right. I think it's a really, really good way of doing it, because it does make it very consumable for people.
Yes.
And I think it's really daunting when you look at podcasts and thinking, I haven't got an hour to listen or listen to this bro talking about the way he earns loads of money and all the rest of it, because that's normally what it is, isn't it? Let's face it. So hats off, Heather. I think what you're doing is absolutely outstanding. I know that the school is incredibly successful, but success in this environment doesn't come easy. You've got to have a very, very good product, and you do. And I just think that it's incredible. What you're doing is great, not just from a business perspective and a school perspective, but actually the fact is that you really are doing work that is world changing. It's life changing. And I don't bandy that about easily, but I really do think that it is just extraordinary. And we're so thrilled that, that we partner with you, that you're a member of the CMA, and, we're very proud of you. So thank you so much for all of that.
No, well, thank you for having us.
Pleasure. Absolute pleasure. Thank you so much, Heather.
Thank you.
Thank you for being with us, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks, Heather. Bye-bye. See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.